The Prime Minister delivered her landmark address in Mansion House, in London, to outline what the UK wants in the next phase of Brexit negotiations. In her keenly awaited speech, the Prime Minister declared future EU treaties, and hence EU law, will no longer apply in the United Kingdom once Britain has left the EU. Theresa May clearly explained exactly how British courts would become sovereign after Brexit. She said, "The second hard fact is that even after we have left the jurisdiction of the European Court of Justice, EU law and the decisions of the ECJ will continue to affect us." Sky News getter Theresa May said the EU law would end post-Brexit. For a start, the ECJ determines whether agreements the EU has struck are legal under the EU's own law, as the US found when the ECJ declared the safe harbor framework for data sharing invalid. When we leave the EU, the withdrawal bill will bring EU law into UK law. That means cases will be determined in our courts, but where appropriate our courts will continue to look at the ECJ's judgments as they do for the appropriate jurisprudence of other countries' courts. If, as part of our future partnership, Parliament passes an identical law to the EU law, it may make sense for our courts to look at the appropriate ECJ judgments so we both interpret those laws consistently. As I said in Munich, if we agree that the UK should continue to participate in an EU agency, the UK would have to respect the remit of the ECJ in that regard. In the future, the EU treaties and hence EU law will no longer apply in the United Kingdom. Theresa May. In the future, the EU treaties and hence EU law will no longer apply in the United Kingdom. The agreement we reach must therefore respect the sovereignty of both the UK and the EU's legal orders. That means the jurisdiction of the ECJ in the UK must end. It also means the ultimate arbiter of disputes about our future partnership cannot be the court of either party. During her momentous speech, the Prime Minister also said Britain wants to have the freedom to strike trade deals around the world, but also agree a Brexit relationship with the European Union where they continue to support each other's interests. Mrs. May acknowledged that leaving the single market would mean life is going to be different. She said, "In certain ways, our access to each other's markets will be less than it is now." Yesterday, European Council President Donald Tusk warned that Mrs. May's insistence on taking Britain out of the single market and the customs union meant it could not enjoy frictionless trade with the EU after Brexit. At talks in Downing Street on Thursday, where she briefed him on the address, Mr. Tusk told her, "Friction is an inevitable side effect of Brexit by nature.